Year 1 and welcome back to your remote learning for this half term. Now, today in English, we are going to be reading a fabulous story. It's called The Lighthouse Keepers' Lunch. What a fabulous story. Have you read this story before? Do you know what it's about? If not, we're going to read it now together. Okay, so The Lighthouse Keepers' Lunch. The Lighthouse Keepers' Lunch. And it's by Rona and David Armitage. Can you see that there? Fantastic. Now let's have a little look at this beginning part here. There's a basket full of food. There's some seagulls on here as well. And it's on a very long rope. And there seems to be a pulley system here. I wonder what this story might be about. I think there's definitely a clue here with the Lighthouse Keeper's Lunch. That's given us a clue, isn't it? Let's read the story then. Once there was a lighthouse keeper called Mr. Grindling. At night time, he lived in a small white cottage perched high on the cliffs. And in the daytime, he rowed out to his lighthouse on the rocks to clean and polish the light. And can you see him? There he is. And he's rowing right out to his lighthouse. And this is where he lives normally. Mr. Quinn was the most industrious lighthouse keeper. Now, industrious means that he was really, really hardworking. Come rain or shine, he tended to his light. And I love that. Here, he's in his lovely summer clothes, and here it looks like it's really windy, and yet he's still trying to have a go at polishing the light, isn't he? Fantastic. Sometimes at night, as Mr. Grindling lay sleeping in his warm bed, the ships would toot to tell him that his light was shining brightly and clearly out to sea. And there he is with a smile on his face. Can you see that? And that's because he is really pleased that his light is working. Each morning, while Mr. Grindling was polishing the light, Mrs. Grindling worked in the kitchen of the little white cottage on the cliffs, concocting a delicious lunch for him. Now, concocting means making. So she was making a delicious lunch for him. Once she had prepared the lunch, she packed it into a special basket and clipped it onto a wire that ran from the little white cottage across to the lighthouse on the rocks. If I hold it quite closely, and bring it over here, can you see there? We've got the little wheel that we saw earlier, and it goes all the way to that lighthouse, doesn't it? Can you see that? Fantastic. So she hooks his lunch on there, and then she sends it off down to him on the lighthouse. What a good idea that is. But on Monday, something terrible happened. Mrs. Grindling had prepared a particularly appetizing lunch, and she had made mixed seafood salad. Oh, delicious. A lighthouse sandwich, cold chicken garni, sausages and crisps, peach surprise, icy biscuits, drinks and assorted fruit. She put the lunch in the basket as usual and sent it down the wire. Oh, look, there's their cat. What do you think might happen? Because it said that something terrible happened. What do you think might happen? Pause the video, have a chat with the person in the room. What did you decide? Shall we see if your predictions are correct? Okay then. But the lunch did not arrive. It was spotted by 3 scavenging seagulls who set upon it and devoured it with great gusto. Now, when you devour something, it means you eat it really, really quickly. Okay, so sometimes when I'm feeling really hungry, when I get home from school, I devour my dinner because I'm so hungry. And sometimes in the morning, when you wake up and you have a really lovely drink, I devour my drink because I really am thirsty. What do you devour at home? Clear off, varmints, shouted Mr. Grindling, but the seagulls took not the slightest notice. This is an excellent peach surprise, boys. She's a great cook, Fred. Oh, scrumptious lunch, Tom. They're a bit naughty, aren't they, those seagulls? How rude of them. That evening, Mr. and Mrs. Grindling decided to baffle the seagulls. That means to confuse them. Tomorrow I shall tie a napkin to the basket, said Mrs. Grindling. Of course, my dear, agreed Mr. Grindling. A sound plan. But oh no, she tied it round, hoping that it would keep on there. Can you see? Oh, let me move my camera. Can you see? But then look what happened. Oh dear me. They'll have to try harder than this to stop us, Bert, said one of the seagulls. They're eating his lunch again. Oh, dearie me. On Tuesday evening, Mr. and Mrs. Grindling racked their brains for another plan. They are a brazen lot, those seagulls, said Mrs. Grindling. Now, brazen doesn't mean brave. Brazen means that they're just very overly confident. They just don't care what they're doing at all. Brazen indeed, said Mr. Grindling. What shall we do? Our cat doesn't appear to like seagulls, said Mrs. Grindling. No, my dear. Hamish is an accomplished seagull chaser. Of course, exclaimed Mrs. Grindling. Tomorrow, Hamish can guard the lunch. A most ingenious plan, said Mr. Grindling. And then they are having a really good chat about it. Uh-oh, can you see? Here's Hamish. Do you think he wants to go into that basket? I'm thinking no. It's a bit like my dog when I'm trying to put her in the bath. She doesn't like going in the bath. So she stretches out her paws because that's what she wants to do, not go into the bath to try and stop us putting in there. Hamish did not think that this plan was ingenious at all. He spat and he hissed at Mrs. Grindling as she secured him in the basket. There, Hamish, said Mrs. Grindling consolingly. She was trying to make him feel better. I'll have a tasty piece of herring waiting for you when you arrive home. Now, what do you think here, children? Do you think Hamish is going to scare off those seagulls? Do you think the plan will work? Pause the video. Have a chat to the person in the room. Welcome back. Shall we find out? Sadly, Flying did not agree with Hamish. His fur stood on end when the basket swayed, and his whiskers drooped as he peered down at the wet blue sea. He felt much too sick to even notice the seagulls, let alone scare them away for lunch. Pretty kitty, like a piece of lobster Monterey. This food gets better every day, Fred. Well, aren't you going to chase us, Kitty? He doesn't look very happy, does he, Hamish? He looks positively sick, I think. Oh dear. Oh, lack a day, said Mr. Grindling sadly. Meow, meow, agreed Hamish pitifully. Hamish does not look happy there, does he, at all? And Mr. Grindling, he looks a bit sad, doesn't he? On Wednesday evening, Mr. and Mrs. Grindling racked their brains for a new plan. What shall we do? Mrs. Grindling looked thoughtful. Oh, I have it! She exclaimed. Just the mixture for hungry seagulls. Oh, indeed, my dear, said Mr. Grindling. What do you have in mind? Just you wait and see, she said. Just you wait and see. What do you think she's going to do? So they've tried tying the napkin on. They've tried sending the cat. What do you think Mrs. Grindling's plan is going to be now? Pause the video, have a chat to the person in the room. What did you decide there? I wonder if you got the right answer. Shall we find out what she decides to do? Let's see. Mustard sandwich! sandwiches, chuckled Mr. Grindling. A truly superb plan, my dear, truly superb. Do you like mustard sandwiches? I do not like them. It is too hot and makes my nose tingle and makes me sneeze. I do not like mustard sandwiches at all. And this mustard, extra strong. Oh. So on Thursday morning, Mrs. Grindling carefully packed the mustard sandwiches and sent them off down the wire to the expectant seagulls. Ugh, yuck, ugh, ah! They did not like those at all, did they? On Friday, Mrs. Grindling repeated the mustard mixture. Oh, all right, boys. Let's go and have lunch elsewhere. Oh, it's the same as yesterday, Fred. So, on Saturday, up in the little white cottage on the cliffs, a jubilant, that means really happy, Mrs. Grindling put away the mustard pot before she prepared a scrumptious lunch for Mr. Grindling. While he waited for his lunch down in the lighthouse on the rocks, Mr. Grindling sang snatches of old sea shanties. And sea shanties are songs that fishermen used to sing. And they have no music, they just use their voices to create a beautiful melody. And he surveyed, that means he surveyed the coastline through his telescope. And this is what he saw. Oh, there's no mustard in this lot, Tom. We'll fly back here again tomorrow for lunch, boys. Oh, this is a delicious chocolate eclair. Can you see? Oh, dearie me. Ah, such is life, said Mr. Grindling, as he sat down to enjoy a leisurely lunch in the warm sunshine. What a lovely story that was. Now, we're going to be focusing on this book over the next couple of weeks in English. So today, you have just got a vocabulary check that you're going to be working on. And then from tomorrow, we're going to be starting to think about adjectives and nouns. I hope you really enjoyed that story, Year One. I really enjoyed reading it to you. And I'm really looking forward to working on this story over the next couple of weeks. Now, you take care, and I will see you hopefully really soon. Take care now. Bye.